So this video is intended to be a clear-cut, concise, and common sense breakdown on why gold and silver are going to be, currently are, and are going to be great investments for our current economic circumstances, geopolitical circumstances, and simple supply and demand issues. We're not going to make this too terribly long, and I'm not covering this topic as a full-out expert in gold and silver. I'm more coming from the perspective of an expert banker, financial services, someone who understands various investment markets in their relation to building wealth and protecting your money. So that is more where this is coming from. There are many people much smarter than me that cover gold and silver in depth. If you're looking for those more in-depth breakdowns and intellectual perspectives, there's plenty of content creators out there for that. I'm doing this from a perspective of what are the catalysts, what are the circumstances of today's market, today's economy, today's world, and where does precious metals fit into your financial portfolio, where it can take you overall if everything that seems to be brewing comes together. This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity. To all my pioneers, welcome back. To all my new viewers, welcome in. We're gonna get straight into this. So when it comes to precious metals, there's a deep, deep history with precious metals in humanity as a whole. On a grander scheme, fast forwarding to today's time, there are economic circumstances, geopolitical circumstances, and supply and demand circumstances that make precious metals a very attractive investment now and in the foreseeable future. Economically, we have inflation, we have an impending recession, we have money printing out of control, we have massive debt on a governmental, corporate, and personal level, household level. We have a sinking US dollar. We have a lot going on economically that all happens to be individual catalysts for precious metals and other resources to take off. When you also look at the fact of geopolitically, we have countries around the world that are actively trying to dethrone our currency to weaken our power projection across the globe. And these are countries that are resource-rich countries. Part of the effort around that, many believe, will be these countries, stacking and, retaining more of their resources, precious metals being, some of those resources. And also we have central banks around the world buying gold and silver like crazy. Many believe that the financial system that we're in has to come to an end. It has to go through an adjustment. And when that happens, many believe that gold and silver will be instrumental in the transition of the financial system on a global level. That in itself is another catalyst for gold and silver to have tremendous value, because if they were to be revalued to back a currency or transition currencies or whatever the case may be and had to have some kind of monetary use again, they automatically have to be worth significantly more than they are now to function in that capacity. The next catalyst on the list is supply and demand, especially silver. Gold has been treasured and preserved largely since the beginning of time, as far as it being mined and being kept above ground and stored for a very long time. Meaning most of the gold that has been mined around the world is largely, from my understanding, somewhere near 90+% of it is still held somewhere and treasured. Gold is still a very precious resource. It's not something that is, easily found or mined. So though it doesn't have as many industrial uses, it is still a very precious resource. Silver, on the other hand, is also extremely finite, and it has hundreds of industrial applications. And we are growing into a world that is more and more electronic, and silver is highly conductive. It is irreplaceable in all electronics. Solar panels, computers, smartphones, electric vehicles, and the list goes on. Silver is literally the heartbeat of all electronics that we are, completely attached to in our modern society, and the rest of the world is growing attached to as it becomes more modern over time. And if you were to get into the particulars of the supply and demand of silver, that the ratio that is mined, the fact that it is not preserved like gold is, and it's getting higher use cases as we're getting less of it above ground. That is another catalyst for precious metals to go through the roof. Many in the industry that are experts in gold and silver already argue that both of them should be magnitudes higher in price than they are if they were adjusted for some of these catalysts currently today. Another major factor is understanding that once upon a time when gold and silver were a part of our monetary system, they were able to buy you certain things back then that cost a certain amount. One adage that is in the gold and silver space is that an ounce of gold could buy a man a really nice suit back in the day, 100 years ago, 80 years ago, 100, 120 years ago. Well, if you look at the cost of a nice quality suit today and the price of gold today, that still applies. You get a really nice suit for hundreds, maybe $1,000 or $2,000, and that's about the value of gold at the time of this recording. There are many use cases, many arguments for why gold and silver are phenomenal investments right now. One of the most important and common sense reasons that I want to bring to you in this video is they are very, very small investment markets. They have numerous industrial applications, but from an investment point of view, projections indicate that less than 1% of the population in America owns precious metals as an investment. And when you put that in perspective, gold and silver are going to be one of the places money goes as the economy starts to go through its progressions with this, debt crisis we have, currency crisis we have. If wars get any worse, inflation gets any worse, money will start to continuously value will come out of paper currency, dollars, because that's becoming less valuable. It's not retaining its value. So real money is going to come out of that looking for other places to go. Most other asset classes are denominated or based off of US dollars. The stock market has a strong tie to the dollar. Real estate has a strong tie to the dollar. Cryptocurrency is the Wild West. At the end of the day, gold and silver will be one of the premier places that smart money and some big money is going to go as things get less and less stable. And when you think about the fact that less than 1% of people are in gold and silver right now, and that market already has plenty room to grow, like a lot of room to grow. Many believe that they should both be magnitudes higher than they are. When you start to have a flood of people coming out of the stock market, out of cash savings, even out of real estate in some cases, looking for a safe, stable place to put their money and maintain or possibly even grow value, gold will be the first on that list because it has no counterparty risk. It's not attached to the stock market or a bank. It's not attached to a currency. It just is. Once you hold it, you own it. That's it. It also retains its value. As things get crazier, gold retains value. It's barterable. The list goes on. So smart money is going to funnel into gold. It's a fear-based asset. People own gold when they're scared. Silver moves last of the two. Silver does not move when gold moves. Gold gets the rush first. Once gold has gotten a rush and the value of gold and the price of gold has shot through the roof, the premiums to purchase it have shot through the roof, then they go to what's called the poor man's gold. And now everybody that's left is going to funnel into silver, which is historically more speculative, meaning that people know it moves last, but it moves the highest. So when gold gets to its new all-time highs and everybody's funneling into gold and that taps out at some point, everybody else is going to be rushing into silver. And because it's more affordable and more rare, people are going to flood it. And when it floods, it's likely has the potential to go through the roof. These are not necessarily intended to be, these massive wealth gainers, overnight wealth gainers. But we're facing economic, geopolitical, and supply and demand circumstances in the evolution of our society and around the globe that are going to create catalysts that may make these metals astronomically more valuable in the near to moderate future. They've done parabolic moves in the past. Gold used to be somewhere in the bases of $50 or $60 an ounce at one point in time, and ran up to $800, $900. It's been from $800, $900 to $2,000 or $3,000. When you think about owning just an ounce at a time, making those moves, and you may have hundreds or maybe thousands of ounces over time, or even dozens. Silver's done the same thing. It's been as low as $2 an ounce and been up to 50. If you can imagine the position financially, the value that's going to come, not only the preservation of capital, but the potential value of you being able to take your precious metals and exchange it for real estate or other assets at the ratio you can do so. Like right now, it may take just random numbers, 100 ounces of gold to buy a house. But when that value starts to shift, that breakdown I just gave you starts to happen, and all of that money funnels into gold, then you may look up one day and it may only take 20 ounces of gold to buy a house. You understand? That same house. That's the kind of value, exchange of value. That's the kind of rush from the normal asset classes that we're all used to and, think we have some understanding of, versus something like gold and silver that is a really, really small niche in the investment markets. Very, very, very few people even understand what gold and silver are, what they're about. And I wanted to bring it in this video because as you see in the majority of my videos, for those of you who follow consistently, I continue to bring out more financial strategies and moves to be made around the same economic catalysts. The same ones. It's the same usual suspects. Gold and silver may be the top place that will benefit from those catalysts. And I hope what I've explained to you so far has made sense. Please comment down below your questions, your curiosities, or your existing journey with precious metals. And let's keep the conversation going. Please let me know where you need me to expand on this topic or go in more depth, whether that be the history, more about these different catalysts, more about the supply and demand components, whatever it is, comment down below and let me know so I can give you guys more context and more information on this topic, because I promise you, this should be some part of your financial portfolio. Some people say 10%. Some people are in it almost 100%. It depends on your belief and what it can do and where it will go as things keep, transitioning and happening in our economy. But I'm telling you right now, the likelihood is that gold and silver will be a phenomenal place to be some point in the near to moderate future. And it's going to be one of those once in a lifetime type of moves. It's not going to be something that you're going to be able to go back and wait a couple years to get another shot at. So it's really easy to own. It's really easy to store. And you don't have to do anything but hold it. That's it. I recommend, depending on your position, that you educate yourself, learn more through this content, through your own research, so you can feel more comfortable adding gold and silver to your portfolio. Because I promise you, you'll thank me later. If this is new to you, you'll thank me later. To all my pioneers out there, as always, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you want to support this channel, there's links in the description to some of the best lenders in the credit card space. My referral links will get you great bonuses. Do your own research, but the likelihood is you'll get some of the most competitive bonuses from my referral links. Just supporting this channel directly, getting great welcome bonuses, making it a win-win at the end of the day. Other than that, thank y'all for tuning in. As always, I want y'all to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.
This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity Network, a channel dedicated to helping you increase your net worth through relationship banking, maximizing your borrowing capacity, the proper use of life insurance, and the ownership of real estate. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading content on a daily basis to help you customize your blueprint for prosperity.